Get some instant analysis, and for that we welcome in CBS Sports golf analysts Mark Immelman and Doug Bell. Webb Simpson, Chris Kirk tied for first. Simpson won 2 weeks ago at the RBC Heritage. On Friday, carded a bogey-free 8 under. His only missed green was on 16, and then he chipped in from the greenside bunker for birdie. Pretty awesome. Mark, what's your reaction to Simpson's stellar round?
Well, this is a guy who's clearly at the top of his game. The confidence is high, and to that, a lot can be said for a guy's wingman, and I'm talking about the caddy here. And Paul Tesori and Webb Simpson are just the perfect foil for each other. And Paul knows what to say to Webb. He knows timing. Hey, Webb gives him a mandate to call him off shots, which speaks to the trust that he has in his bag man. So you've got two guys at the height of their powers right now. And Webb, I mean, it's amazing how he's just going about his business. He's not playing to the hype of the power. He plays his game. Is confident in his game. He's got a tremendous short game right now, which he's riding. And the main thing about Simpson is his game is traveling. He's moving to different golf courses, and he's finding a way to shoot low everywhere. So it talks to a guy who's operating with high confidence and a high belief in what he's doing.
He's number one in FedEx Cup points. He's number one in birdies made on tour. He's number one in scoring average. And then today he missed only one green and missed only one fairway. And oh, by the way, he's number one on tour in final round scoring average. That spells well for him on Sunday. He's number two in scoring average on Saturday, so he's not perfect. But Webb Simpson is red hot. And guys, if he should win for the third time this weekend, he'd be the first three-time winner. And he would catapult to number two in the world behind Rory McIlroy. And he would be the highest ranked player from the United States. So if you're not talking about Webb Simpson, you should be. He is the best player in the USA right now.
Indeed, 29 straight bogey-free holes for Webb Simpson. Meantime, Chris Kirk, who he will be paired with on Saturday, looking for his 5th career PGA Tour victory and first since winning at the Colonial in 2015, carded a 7 under 65 in round 2. And Doug, this would be a remarkable comeback story for Chris Kirk, who took a hiatus last year battling alcohol abuse and depression.
Yeah, I followed him 5 years ago when he battled Rory McIlroy toe-to-toe on Saturday, Sunday to win the Deutsche Bank Championship. And Rory played really well. Chris Kirk played better, and it was very impressive. Then a year later, he wins the Colonial. And it looked like he was off and running, one of the better players on the PGA Tour. And then lo and behold, he falls off the radar screen. And really, we didn't know why until he admitted last year that he was having trouble off the course with all sorts of things. Went into rehab. And, you know, he took 7 months off to deal with that and came back and did not play well. And then during the COVID shutdown, he said he didn't touch a club for 3 months. So basically this guy took a year off, more or less. He's playing on major medical extension right now. And we saw what he did 2 weeks ago. He was an alternate to get into RBC Heritage, but chose instead to play the Korn Ferry because he definitely wanted to get 4 rounds in. And it was 4 good rounds. He finished 25 under par. And what that tells me, and what I've seen, is this guy is not scared to go out and make a bunch of birdies. And that's what is going to be needed this weekend in Detroit. Chris Kirk, great story. It would be an incredible story if he fulfills the comeback with a win this weekend.
It certainly would, Doug. And you talk about the major medical extension. I don't think he'll be playing on that very much longer. You referenced the win down in on the Korn Ferry Tour. I mean, to shoot those sort of scores, something is going right. Low number that week was 64. High number was 67, which is 5 under par. So it speaks to a guy who's very confident, and the game is traveling. So you bring in that win, you bring it to Detroit, and it's a guy whose game travels. You referenced the win in Boston. He's had a win down in Mississippi. He's won in the Golden Isles of Georgia. So he's won around the countryside on different types of golf courses. And the thing about his game is, he hits this tumbling draw. He doesn't flight the ball real high. And on a Donald Ross place with some back hole locations and holes that are tucked on plateaus and little shelves around the greens, that's not a bad deal to parlay toward a low score. So you come in here with confidence. You're playing well. Your game travels. And so you've got perspective off the golf course too. And so that lends itself to some free swinging. So right now it's a recipe for success. And he looked awfully comfortable today. And the one thing to watch for Kirk, with Kirk on the weekend, is how he sort of takes everything in his stride. Nothing really phases him very much. And now with all the off-the-course issues he has behind him, it looks like he's got an even bigger dose of this sort of stuff. And that, to me, is crucial when it comes to playing under pressure on the weekend.
Chris Kirk up 10 spots on Friday, Mark. Who's the golfer you're projecting can climb the leaderboard on moving day?
Well, I'm going to go with Tony Finau on this one. He started his day today with a double bogey 6. He was playing the back 9 first, and then turned 2 over, then came back with 4 birdies for 32, including a birdie on his final hole, the 9th, to make the cut on the number. Now, this is a guy, Finau, who's played 10 of the 11 rounds he's played prior to this round, or this tournament, I should say, have been under par. So he's playing well. He can take advantage of the par 5s. So now with a little burr in the saddle and maybe a little confidence from that backside 32 and that closing birdie, he goes out early, fresh greens. He's got the power to get to all of the par 5s. You take care of those, that's already 4 under. You pick off a few wedges and pick out some more. I feel like Finau now is primed to really take advantage on moving day.
I like another long hitter to make a move on Saturday. That's Cameron Champ. Now, here's a guy who was the 157th player to get in this week because of that false positive last week and subsequently tested negative 3 times in a 72-hour period. So the tour changed their policy to let Cameron in this week, and he's 7 under par. And on Friday, it was only 1 under on the par 5s. On Thursday, only 2 under on the par 5s. Again, this guy came in averaging just a notch better than Bryson DeChambeau in driving distance. He gets the same kind of club head speed and ball speed, almost very close to Bryson, and doesn't swing nearly as hard. It's effortless. It's a low trajectory, boring shot. It's something to behold. I like Cameron Champ making a move for a lot of reasons. I think he's motivated because he felt like he should have been able to play last week, and stuff happens in this crazy time we're living in. And now he has an opportunity this weekend. Wide fairways, flat runways. They're firm. They're fast. Look out for Cameron Champ.
All right, let's get your pick to win the Rocket Mortgage Classic. The favorites, Webb Simpson at plus 250, Bryson DeChambeau at plus 300. Mark, do you like one of those 2 men to win on Sunday?
Well, look, I was glowing about Webb Simpson, and rightly so. I mean, the guy is probably the best guy on the tour right now, but let's not discount Bryson. And I'm going with Bryson, and there's a couple reasons. He's got this torrid streak going on right now where he's played 66% of the rounds he's played where he's making 5 birdies or better. You go bogey free and you do 67 like he did today, and we know he has the gas to get to the par 5s. Then secondly, today on the 4th hole, a par 5, he had 291 yards total, and he flew a 3-wood right into the middle of the green, and this thing landed like a butterfly with sore feet. And I looked at this, my eyebrows raised, my eyes popped out, and that is just something that the common PGA Tour player does not have in their arsenal. Now, is Webb going to be an easy out? Absolutely not. But with that sort of power that Bryson is displaying and a whole heap of confidence right now, I feel like he's going to be the guy this weekend.
You know, Webb Simpson said after his round today, he said, sometimes when you play on the PGA Tour, it feels like work, and it's tough. He said that's not the case for him right now. He's having a blast. He wanted to play last week at Travelers, but his young daughter, got tested for strep, and they said, no, she has COVID. So he rushed home, turned out not to be COVID. And so he just took a week off with his family, but he was quick to get back on tour because these guys know their window of opportunity is usually 5 or 6 weeks when you take advantage of phenomenal play. And that's what he's doing right now. He's riding high. Webb Simpson is going to win the 3rd time this weekend.
That'd be quite the story. All right, Doug likes Webb Simpson. Mark Immelman likes Bryson DeChambeau. Hey, maybe put a little bit of money on both those guys. All right, we've got you covered this weekend here on CBS Sports HQ. Leading into the coverage on CBS, join us before the 3rd and 4th rounds of the Rocket Mortgage Classic, 2:45 Eastern, Saturday and Sunday. Stream all the action live on the CBS Sports app and on CBSSports.com.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.